Today I'm going to discuss this artificial intelligence applications in sheet metal forming. All of you know that nowadays this artificial intelligence has become a buzzword. Our government of India is giving much stress on artificial intelligence. In this lecture, I will discuss how this artificial intelligence can be used in sheet metal forming. In session one, Professor Rawal has discussed about incremental sheet metal forming, mainly SPIF. So this SPIF is one type of flexible metal forming process which can be performed on a 3-axis CNC milling machine. But in case of conventional sheet metal forming processes, we need punch and die setup. And these conventional sheet metal forming or you can say stamping processes are required for mass production. The design of punch and die depends on the design of sheet metal part. So if there is any change in the if there is any change in the design of sheet metal part, then obviously the die designer has to redesign the die and punch accordingly. And you know that design activity of punch and die and subsequently its manufacturing is a time consuming and costly affair. How to deal this experience based activity of designing punch and die by using some artificial intelligence technique. So I am going to discuss this aspect in this lecture. You know that large number of sheet metal parts are used in different domains like electronic and electrical appliances, kitchen equipments, computer hardware, automobile. According to a survey in the US, it was found that around 10 lakh components can be easily found in a middle class family home, which are made by sheet metal. Obviously, to manufacture these sheet metal parts, we need some stamping operations, and to perform these stamping operations, we need punch and die. So, stamping operations are broadly divided into three types. One is your shearing or parting type of operations, where some portion of the sheet is cut out from the remaining sheet. And second one is drawing operation like deep drawing, where we do not cut the complete part, but we deform the blank to get the required shape, like cup drawing. And third one is the bending, where we bend the sheet metal blank. Okay, so to perform all these operations, we need some type of die. So dies, or you can say press tool, are broadly categorized into three categories or two categories. One is single operation die, other one is multi operation die. So single operation die means you can perform one operation with each press stroke. So like your punching die, blanking die, embossing, coining, notching, parting off, all these are single operation dies. And multi operation dies means where you can perform two or more than two operations with each press stroke. So in this figure, you can see this is a typical two-station progressive die. So progressive die is a one type of multi-operation die. So here only two stations are shown, but actually progressive die may have 10, 15, 20 stations. So with each press stroke, you will get finally one finished part at the end of stroke. So this multi-operation die may be compound die, where this punching and blanking operations are combined in one setup, like your manufacturing of washer. It is made by compound die. And third one is combination die, where shearing and forming operations are combined in one setup. So this progressive die, combination die, and compound die, these are multi-operation dies. So in this figure, you can see that this progressive die has many elements which are assembled together, like die block, die insert, plate elements, stripper plate, punch plate, backup plate, die support. uh, top plate, bottom plate, die gauges, and many dowels and your fastening elements. Similarly, you can see this is a typical compound die. This compound die is used to perform punching and blanking operations simultaneously. So, like manufacturing of a washer, use a compound die. So again, there are so many components in this compound die which are assembled together. Some components are active components, some components are inactive components. Active components are like die cavity, die block and punch and stripper plate. These are active components. Inactive components like fastening elements, your bottom plate, top plate, bolster plate, dowel pins, your RAM. So all these are inactive components. This is a typical deep drawing die. Deep drawing die is used to manufacture cup-shaped articles like your fuel tank of automobile. So fuel tank of automobile is stamped in two parts, lower half and upper half, by using deep drawing die, and then halves are assembled by using welding process, first spot welding and then seam welding. So, and all cup shape particles are manufactured by using deep drawing die. So in this case, you can see this is the blank and final part is your drawn cup. So again, this die has large number of components which are assembled together. Um, and this is a typical bending die. Bending die may be H bending die, maybe U bending die, maybe B bending die. So here again, you can see many components are assembled to make a bending die. So all these types of dies are highly specific, means the design of these dies depends on the design of the required sheet metal part. So what is the traditional die design process? First of all, there is a manufacturability assessment. Suppose if any design of a part comes to the industry for manufacturing, then first of all, that die designer has to check its manufacturability. Means he has to check all the design features, and then he has to decide whether these features can be stamped by using a particular die or not. For example, size of hole, distance between two holes, size of hole edge from the edge of the sheet metal part, size of notch. Yes, in case of bending component, what is the angle of bend, and there are so many design parameters which are to be checked by the die designer before starting the die design process. So this is known as manufacturability assessment. The next step is process planning. Means that the die designer has to decide that which type of die will be required to manufacture that particular sheet metal part, what operations are to be performed, how these operations can be combined with each other, then what will be the press tonnage will be required, uh, what will be the uh, punch force will be required. So different process parameters are to be determined by the die designer. The next step is strip layout design. You know that sheet metal available in the market is of standard size, of standard width, but sheet metal industries always try to maximize the utilization of this sheet. And to maximize this utilization, die designer has to cut out sheet metal blank from this sheet metal part in optimal manner so that there will be minimum wastage. So for that, die designer has to combine some sheet metal operations in case of progressive die, and which sheet metal operations will be performed at which station, how many stations will be required in case of progressive die, and then what will be the sequence of operations. So, and then finally, he has to prepare a drawing of strip layout. This activity is done manually or by using some CAD software in traditional die design process. Then next step is die component design or selection. Some components of particular die are available the market standard sizes, and some components like mainly active components are to be designed by the uh, die designer. So, for example, die plates, punch plate, punches, stripper plate, backup plate, die gauges, springs, and your die set. So all these are to be designed or selected. Their size is to be selected from the available design from the market, or some components are to be designed. Then finally, the die designer has to prepare the drawing of each component, and then die assemblies, lower die assembly and top die assembly. So these are the 5 steps of a traditional die design process. Most of the steps are done manually, and in some cases, die designer takes the help of some CAD softwares. But final decision is to be taken by the die designer himself. CAD software can help only in case of preparing some drawings, some calculations, the storage and retrieval of drawings. But mainly all these steps are done manually, and these are highly experience based. Then what are the problems of sheet metal industries when all these steps are done manually? That the traditional process of die design is complex, time consuming, and tedious. Complex in the sense that because one design of a die is highly specific, means depends on the design of final required sheet metal part. Time consuming means it takes a lot of time, at least 3-4 days or sometimes 1 week is required to design a die manually. And tedious, also a lot of calculations are to be done, and many times trial and error method is used based on the experience. So you can say that it requires highly experienced die designers and process planners. Hence, only those designers who are having experience of 10 to 15 years, they can do perfect, not perfect, but a good design of a die, and that die can be used for production of sheet metal parts. So it is highly experience based activity. Then problem is further compounded by following factors, that although it requires highly experienced die designers and process planners, but there is a lack of supply of skillful die designer worldwide. Because nowadays, you know that our graduate engineers, fresh graduate engineers, do not want to join hardcore field, and this die design requires a lot of apprenticeship, lot of experience, and slow career growth also. So obviously there is a shortage of skillful die designers throughout the world, and very short life cycle of stamping products. Although the design of a die is highly part specific, but the life cycle of these stamping products has also become very short, because nowadays you know that customers have become very sophisticated, very choosy. Every day customer wants new model of car, new model of phone. Life cycle of sheet metal part has become very short, and mobility of experienced die designers in stamping industry. There is a monotony of highly experienced die designers in sheet metal industries. They always try to get high salary package and other benefits, and therefore they generally move from one industry to other. So this is again a big problem for sheet metal industries, because no sharing of practical knowledge by experts with their juniors. This is the problem with all hardware in the hardcore industries of our country, and that experienced people do not share their experience knowledge with their juniors. They can only tell the solution whenever there is a problem, but why this solution is optimal, what is the logic behind that solution, that is not discussed by the experienced people with their juniors. So these are the problems of sheet metal industry. So how to overcome these problems? that to adopt new technology-based techniques to design press tools or dies for satisfying the demand of wide variety of stamping products. Sheet metal industries are compelled to adopt new technology-based techniques to design press tools in minimum possible time and for production of wide variety of stamping products. This is the requirement of stamping industries nowadays. To reduce the time taken between the design concept of sheet metal part to the design of press tool. Generally, to design a simple press tool, a die designer needs at least 15 days. And when the press tool is very complex, suppose progressive die with 15, 20 stations, then die designer may need 1 month or more than 1 month to design a complete die. And thereafter, manufacturing of that die will start. So obviously, sheet metal industry has to reduce this time between the design concept of sheet metal part and the design of press tool. And another challenge of the sheet metal industry is to retain its highly experienced die designers and tool makers, because whenever any highly experienced manpower leaves that company, then there will be vacuum in that company in terms of technical know-how. So how to retain these experienced manpower, mainly die designer and tool makers in that company? This is a big challenge for the sheet metal industries. Therefore, there is an urgent need to conserve the disappearing skill and knowledge of experienced die designers and build this into intelligent computer-aided die design system. Therefore, obviously, there are many problems with sheet metal industries, that they are not getting experienced people, and even after getting experienced people, they leave the company after some time for getting more and more packages, and they do not share their knowledge with their juniors. So how to conserve this knowledge of experienced knowledge of die designers in form of intelligent CAD systems? This is an urgent requirement of sheet metal industries. Now, recent advances in the field of AI have given rise to the possibility of developing intelligent CAD system based on knowledge-based system or expert system approach for quick design of press tools. This is the urgent requirement of sheet metal industries, that the experienced technical knowledge of die designers has to be conserved in form of intelligent systems, or you can say expert systems or knowledge-based systems, which are linked with some CAD system for quick design of press tool. And this is the topic of today's discussion, that how can we build this type of system by using AI and CAD system. So now, what is artificial intelligence? I will give you a brief overview of this artificial intelligence. A workshop in 1956 at Dartmouth, Hampshire, gave birth to a new term, artificial intelligence, coined by John McGrath. So in 1956, there was a conference, summer conference at this Dartmouth. At that conference, around 10 researchers have signed one paper that they will work for this for developing of some intelligent system which can work, which can do, which can ease the problem of some industries. At that time, only some discussion was started, but actual work was started on this in 1970 to 1980. At that time, number of expert systems were developed in medical field in USA. Like your Mycene, E-Mycene, Tendril. So some expert system were developed mainly for medical field. Then first commercial expert system that was named as R1 is developed in 1980s to help the customer specific configuration of Digital Equipment Corporation line of wax computer. So at that time, it was reported that due to this expert system, the company got around $40 million saving per year at that time. So you can imagine that how much saving was done by this one expert system in that industry. So, it means that expert system or intelligence system has a very high potential to do saving, not in terms of only money for industries, but also to conserve the technical knowledge of experienced people. So what is this AI is the science of making computers do things that require intelligence when done by humans. So we need to make our computers intelligent by using some programming so that when any task is performed by the computer, they will work just like a human being. So AI is the study of ideas that enable computers to be intelligent. So this AI, another definition is that AI is the discipline of computer science that aims at building systems showing some intelligence in their operation or behavior. Also investigates the way human perform tasks that require intelligence. So it is the branch of computer science. The aim of this branch is to build computer systems which will show some intelligence in their operation or behavior. And this branch also investigates the way human perform tasks that require intelligence. So we need to inbuild some type of intelligence in computer system. So this is artificial intelligence. So how it resemble to human mind? The special ability of AI is to reach a solution based on facts rather than on a preset series of steps. Is what most closely resemble the thinking function of the human brain. So, as a human being, what we do, uh, we act as per the situation. Whatever is the situation, we act accordingly. There is no hard and fast rule that every time, if there will be same situation, we will act in similar manner. Yeah, there are so many parameters by on the basis of which we analyze the situation and then we perform our act. So artificial intelligence also works in the same manner. So whatever the situation, whatever is the input given to the system, accordingly it will act. So it is not just like a your program, just like a flow chart of a program flow chart that it will act in a definite, specific sequence, but it may change its output according to the change in the situation. So it is similar to the human mind. So there are so many techniques of artificial intelligence, and today I will discuss only about knowledge-based system or expert system, which are rule-based system. So from this graph, you can see that around 37% systems, intelligence systems, are built by using rule-based approach. That is production rule-based approach. Other techniques are also like analytical hierarchy process, AHP, object-oriented technique, hybrid approach, and agent-based systems, neural network. Uh, but this lecture is focused on this rule-based system. So what is the rule-based system or knowledge-based system or expert system? According to this Feigenbaum, who is known as the father of this artificial intelligence, he defined this KBS or expert system in 1982 like an intelligent computer program that uses knowledge and inference procedure to solve problems that are difficult enough to require significant human expertise for their solution. So these are the intelligent computer program that uses knowledge and some such engine, some such procedure to solve problem, and the problems are like that which are difficult enough to require significant human expertise. Means these intelligent computer system programs are not simply the program for day-to-day tasks, but these are the program which are capable to solve some domain specific, highly domain specific task which require some type of expertise for their solution. Other definition is that a computer system which emulates the human decision making ability of a human expert. A computer program that represents and reasons with knowledge of some specialist subject with a view to solving problem or giving advice. So these are some definitions of KBS or expert system. So most of the systems are based on production rules like if then structure. If means some conditions are there and then means some actions are to be taken. For example, you can take one example of like weather forecasting. Weather forecasting is also done by using some expert system or some intelligence system. So for framing rules for this weather forecasting, for example, there may be one rule that if this will be the level of humidity, if this will be the air speed, wind speed, if this will be the moisture in the atmosphere, this will be the temperature, then then there are chances of then there are 70% chances of raining. So this is one sample of one production rule. So there are so many production rules are to be framed for one expert system, thousands of production rules, and these production rules are to be coded in some programming language, and then some search strategies is to be framed and linked with these production rules. So that if by giving some input to the system, then the system will give some intelligent advice to the user, and the system should also be adaptable. Whatever input and output is given, accordingly it will change its knowledge base. So this is the typical structure of a expert system or knowledge based system. What can be done using this KBS or expert system? So first, these systems were developed for medicals, for solving medical problems. In USA, when some systems were developed in medical field, then at that time those systems were used to diagnose the medical condition, diagnose the disease of a patient based on the inputs given to the system, and then system can give medical prescription to the patient. But as these systems were directly linked with the human health, so these systems could not be successful at that time. Then other systems are also developed, like for diagnosing equipment failure, interpret chemical data, chemical composition of a chemical compound that can be uh, identified by using this type of system, make financial decisions. Nowadays in the share market also, every share broker is using some type of expert system or intelligence system for taking financial decision, that what will be the appropriate level of a equity share to buy or sell to get the maximum profit. Then interpret signals in transportation also. This type of expert systems are developed, predict locations of mineral deposits, and give advice about computer system use. So there are so many applications of this knowledge system or expert system. This is just one few examples. So this slide shows the overall structure of a knowledge-based system. Knowledge-based system, there is one. There is at one side there are experts. Here in this figure, only one expert has been shown, but there are so many experts are there. Uh, so from them, knowledge is to be extracted to build a knowledge-based system. Then knowledge is to be extracted by a knowledge engineer from so many experts. Then knowledge base is to be constructed, and then some inference engine, search engine is to be constructed by using appropriate search strategy, and then a user interface is to be built. Because on the other side there is a non-expert which will give some input, which will enter some query or some question or some input to the system. System will ask some data from the non-expert user, and then the system will search in the knowledge base by using search strategy through inference engine, and then finally intelligent advice is given to the user. So the major problem in construction of this knowledge base system is to how to extract knowledge from experienced people, because you know that in industries it is very difficult to extract knowledge from expert people. But to build an expert system, knowledge engineer or research engineer has to consult with so many experts. There should be a team of at least 15 to 20 experts from whom this knowledge is to be extracted, and then this is to be built into knowledge base by using some suitable language, programming language. And then testing is also done. Once this knowledge base system is developed, then again, based on its advice, this advice is to be validated by a team of other experts. Again, 10 to 15 experts are again required to validate these expert advices by this system. So a lot of work is required to build an expert system or knowledge base system. So this is a procedure for development of knowledge base system. You can see, first of all, knowledge acquisition is to be done, knowledge is to be acquired, knowledge to be extracted from domain experts, from available literature, and then framing of production rules. Production rules are to be framed. There are large number of production rules are to be made for developing one knowledge base system. Then verification of rules from domain experts. Once all these rules are framed, then again these rules are to be verified from a team of domain experts. Then these rules are to be sequenced in a proper manner. Then identification of suitable software and programming language. Which programming language will be required for developing this type of system? This depends on the particular application. For example, if you need to develop a knowledge base system for die design, then obviously some CAD software is required. Some language like Lisp, your Visual Basic. Okay, so these are required, and you will need software like AutoCAD or Inventor or CATIA for development of this type of system. Then construction of knowledge base. All these production rules are to be coded in that programming language to construct a knowledge base. Then you have to decide about the search strategy. This search strategy will be used, whether it will be forward search strategy or whether it will be backward search strategy. Forward search strategy means if there are many if conditions and then one or two actions, then you will obviously prefer forward chaining. And if there are many conclusions, many actions and only one or two conditions, then we will go backward chaining. Then finally, preparation of user interface, because every knowledge base system should be able to communicate with the user. So there should be some platform through which the user can interact with the knowledge base system. He can give some inputs, he can ask some questions, and then output can be displayed for the user. So this is the procedure for development of KBS. So research work completed in the domain of KBS for die design at our institute. I'm happy to inform you that during last 14 years, we have developed knowledge base system for automation of design of different types of dies, like blanking die, progressive die, deep drawing die, compound die, and bending die. We have completed this knowledge base system for design of all these types of dies. This blanking die, this work was done by one of my friend who is now associate professor at Helwan University, Cairo, Egypt, Dr. HMA Hussain. And then progressive die, this software was this knowledge base system was developed by me during my PhD. And then deep drawing die, this system was developed by one of my PhD student, Dr. Deepak Panghal, who is now faculty at NIFT Delhi. And then compound die, this work, this deep drawing die was automated by one of my student, Dr. Vishal Naranje, who is now associate professor at BITS Dubai. And then compound die was automated by another PhD student, Dr. Sachin Kashid. And then bending die, this was automated by one of my student, Dr. Deepak Panghal. So we have completed these 5 types of dies, and we have completed 3 projects for in this work. First project I got from DST as a Young Scientist Award under Young Scientist Award scheme. Then project under extramural research funding scheme of SERB, that was of 24 lakh. And then one project was National Plan for Science and Technology, King Saud University, Saudi Arabia, which was the one international project completed at KSU, King Saud University, Saudi Arabia, which was of 3 crore rupees. Now, so today I am going to take one case study. We have designed blanking die, progressive die, deep drawing die, compound die, and bending die. So recent one is the bending die. So I will discuss how to develop this knowledge system for this bending die. So can you see this PPT now? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It is
Okay, so as a case study, I'm going to discuss the design of bending die by using knowledge-based system approach. So this is the one typical bending die which is used to bend sheet metal part. You can see this the U-type bend. So there may be three types of bending die. One is H bending, another one is U bending, and third one is V bending. We have automated the design of this bending die, which is capable to produce bend of all these three types. So first of all, we have made one framework for development of KBS for bending die. You can see that this framework divides the complete die design activity into various sub activities as per the traditional die design process. So first activity is feature extraction of bending part. Means how to extract design features of a bending part automatically. So this system requires only 3D drawing of a sheet metal part as an input. Then this system will extract all design features like band angle, how many bands, if there is any hole, then what is the size of the hole, what is the distance between hole edge and the band, the dimension of the complete parts. All these design features are extracted automatically by the system. And then manufacturability assessment of bending parts. So as you know that the first step of traditional die design process is the manufacturability assessment. The die designer has to assess the complete part to check its manufacturability. So this system is designed in such a way that after extraction of features, the system will check all the design features, whether these design features can be manufactured on a bending die or not. And if there is a some problem, then suitable advice is given to the user that there is a need to change this particular design feature. For example, suppose in case of a band, uh, that the distance between hole edge and the band is very less. Suppose it is only 0.1 millimeter. So to maintain that precise distance is very difficult. So in that case, that system will advise the user that you need to increase this particular feature, otherwise the design will not be possible. Bending die design is not possible. So this is the second activity. Then the next activity is process planning. So in case of bending die design, the die designer has to determine the band alliance. Then length size is to be determined. Then spring back is to be determined. Then bending sequence is to be determined, and then bending force is to be calculated. So accordingly, for handling all these sub activities, different modules are developed, which are all these modules are integrated with each other. Means the output of one module is the input to the next module. Minimum, or you can say negligible input is required from the user. The main input which is required from the user is the 3D drawing of the sheet metal part. Then Selection of die components. So bending die has different die components like die block, different punches, stripper plate, pressure plate, punch plate, back plate, select die set, fasteners. So for all these design or selection of all these components, different modules are developed. And then final activity is to prepare the drawings of all these components, 2D drawing as well as 3D drawing, and then finally assemble the drawing, lower die assembly and upper die assembly of a bending die. So this activity is also done by the system automatically. So you can see that all these modules are user interactive through this user interface. Means here user can enter the input as well as he or she will get the advice from the system. So user interface is there between the system and the user. So this is the overall framework of knowledge-based system for automation of bending die. So similar type of framework is developed for other types of dies also. There may be some changes like determining process planning parameters. Process planning parameter may be different in different types of dies, and similarly die components. So there are some changes. Otherwise, most of the cases the framework is almost same. So based on this framework, uh, we have this during this work, so many modules are developed. You can see that all these the complete system is named as automatic system for design of bending dies, that is ASDBD. So this system has mainly 5 sections. One is automatic feature extraction of bending part. Then second is manufacturability assessment of bending part. Third one is process planning of bending parts. And then this system subsystem has been divided into 5 modules. That is spring back for determination of spring back alliance, for bending alliance, for blank size, bend sequence, and for determination of bending force. And then next subsystem is selection of bending die components, BD-COM. So this system has 6 modules for determining the size of different components of a bending die. Like the BD block means bending die block, stripper plate and punch plate, punches for determining the size of punches, then pressure plate and back plate, then die set, and then fasteners. Different models are there for determining the size of different components. And then automatic modeling of bending die. So to generate 2D and 3D drawings of different components of bending die as well as lower assembly and upper assembly of bending die, there are different modules. You can see this is the first one is DB mode, die block modeling. Second one is stripper plate modeling. Third one is punch modeling, pressure plate modeling, back plate modeling, die set modeling, and then die bottom assembly modeling, and then die top assembly modeling. So for different components, major components, and then lower die assembly and upper die assembly, there are different modules. So the main feature of this system is that this is all these modules and subsystems are integrated with each other. Highly integration is there. Means input input of once input is taken from the user, then first system will extract the uh, design features of the bending parts. Then one file will be database file will be generated, and then all the design features, dimensions of design features will be stored in that database file. And then the next module, manufacturing assessment of bending parts, that this system will take its input from that database file. It will not ask from the user any input. It will directly take its input from the database file. And then process planning of bending part. Okay, again this system, different modules of the system will take input from that previous output of the previous modules, and all these modules will execute one by one. and then these modules will generate some database files, and then selection of bending die components, the dimensions of die block, stripper plate, punch plate, all these are determined based on the input taken from the previous modules. And then finally, drawings are generated. These drawings are automatically generated from the output of the previous modules. So all these modules are integrated in nature. So after construction of this knowledge base system, after development of this knowledge base system, this knowledge base system has been validated in the following sheet metal industries or tool rooms, like Mindarika Private Limited, Manesar, which is one industry located at Manesar. It is multinational industry, and this is engaged in manufacturing of sheet metal parts, or mainly for Maruti and Honda and Ford. So this is very well-known sheet metal industries in Manesar. Then Delhi Institute of Tool Engineering, its earlier name was Tool Room Training Center, Wajirpur. And then Kochar Agro Industries Private Limited, Faridabad, and then Delight High Tech Furniture Private Limited, Delhi. So we have tested the system in these four sheet metal industries. So this is one component with sheet thickness 2.5 millimeter, which was tested at Mindarika Private Limited, Manesar, Haryana. So this is the industrial sheet metal part, and we designed our bending die by for this sheet metal part automatically. This is the another part which is taken from Delhi Institute of Tool Engineering. Its material is steel annealed and sheet thickness is 2 millimeters. So you can see the complexity of this part. There are so many bends, there are so many design features in this part, like notches, your bend, four bends are there. So what should be the sequence of this bend, which bend will be bent first, and then how the final part will be produced. Accordingly, we need to design a die. This is the third component taken from Kochar Agro Industries Private Limited, Faridabad. You can see its complexity. There are different bends in this part, and this is the most complex part, which is taken from this one furniture industry, Delight High Tech Furniture Private Limited. Its material is this copper ETP, and sheet thickness is 2 millimeter. So now I will discuss each subsystem and module one by one, and then how these modules are executed, how these modules are developed. So first one is feature extraction of bending parts. So this is the execution of this proposed feature extraction system. So the user has to give its input in form of 3D CAD part file. Then all the design features are extracted by the system, then extraction of feature attributes, and then display design feature and attributes for the user. And these design features and attributes are stored in one data file, which is named as fe.dat. So this data file is very useful for execution of subsequent modules and subsequent systems. So all the inputs, most of the inputs will be taken from this data file for execution of other modules. So for this component, you can see these are the output for this automatic feature extraction system, that it will extract all these features: band 1, band 2, band 3, what is the inner radius of band 1, what is the outer radius of band 1, what is the band angle, what is the band width, what is the thickness, what is the band direction, downward, up. So all these required features are extracted by this feature extraction system. So these outputs, this is just a sample, not the complete list. There are other design features also. Here I have shown you only the features which are related to the bending. Otherwise, the complete dimension of that sheet metal part, width, length, so all these features are extracted automatically and stored in database file. Then okay, so I will show you the complete video later on. Then manufacturability assessment of bending parts. How to extract, how to check the manufacturability of these design features. So this is just a sample of production rules included in the system, knowledge base system for manufacturability check for bending parts. So there are so many rules are coded in this knowledge base of this system. This is just one sample that if part material is still annealed and band radius is less than or equal to 2 times of sheet thickness and angle is less than angle between band axis and grain direction is greater than 0 degree and less than or equal to 45 degree, and band angle is lies between 0 to 135 degree, system will accept the band radius. If uh, uh, angle and these parameters will not be the specified range, then the system will give advice to the user. So there are some other rules you can see that so many rules are coded in this knowledge based system to check the manufacturability of that sheet metal part. So this is the execution of the system, knowledge based system for manufacturability check for bending parts. So you can see first of all the system will take that data, extract the data from the data file uh, that is generated during the execution of that automatic feature extraction of bending part. Then enter sheet material and production quantity. This is to be entered by the user. That what is the sheet material and what will be the production quantity for which you are planning to design this type of die. Obviously, bending die or you can say conventional dies are used for mass production. So portion quantity should be very high, then only the system will execute further. Otherwise, it will exit and it will advise the user that you are not advised to design a particular die. Then these inputs will be again stored in this data file. Then the system will check this minimum band radius condition satisfied. Already some rules are coded in the system that what are the conditions for minimum band radius which can be which can be generated by using this particular die. Then if that condition is satisfied, then band severity is checked. Then hole, or if there is any hole or slot present, then hole or slot to edge distance condition is checked. And then if all these are as per the knowledge coded in the knowledge base, uh, then system will start the design of the die. Otherwise, it will give advice to the user that please modify that particular design feature before going further. So all the design features, required design features of the sheet metal part are checked by this knowledge base system automatically, and it will ask only this input that what is the sheet material, what is the production quantity. Then for this sheet metal part, you can see these are the output generated. For example, if user has entered that the sheet material is copper ETP and when minimum bend radius is 2, then system will generate this output that accept the band radius. And then band severity check, then band 1, band 2, band up to band 5, band radius will be band radius, band angle, all this will be taken from that data file, and then advice will be generated that whether to accept these features, size of these features or not. And if not, then what should be the appropriate minimum size for that particular design feature. So that advice is displayed for the user. The next is process planning for bending parts. So in bending, there are so many parameters. These are the major parameters that to determine spring bend allowance, spring back angle, then is bend allowance, blank size, bend sequence, and bending force. So for all these different modules are developed. For example, spring bend angle. Uh, this is the execution of this module, that it will take input from this part data file, then data file fe.dat. Some data is taken from this file, then spring back is calculated and displayed for the user, and that spring back will be stored in some data file. Then band allowance, again module band allowance will take some data from fe.dat feature extraction database file, Then it will search values of these parameters, some constants for calculation of this spring back bending allowance. Then calculate band allowance, then display the value of band allowance, and then it will be stored here. And again, here the developer has constructed this database for value of zeta, which is required for determining band allowance. Then blank size. This is the execution of module of blank size. That it will take data from this fe.dat and another database file, that is band allowance.dat. Then it will determine the blank size. Then it will display the 2D and 3D drawing of part blank, and this will be stored in this 3D file bsize.ipt. And then band sequence, you can see that this module will take data from these two database files. Then it will determine the base plane, because you know that in bending component, bending part, there is a one major plane which is considered as the base plane. Then bands will be categorized according to the location, according to the position of the bands. Bands will be categorized into categories. And band, what is the purpose of categorization of band here? For grouping of bands, because some bands can be formed in one with one press stroke. So to minimize the time, so these bands are to be grouped as per their category. And prioritization of groups means which group of band will be band first, will be band second. So this is to be prioritized. And display bending sequence. The complete bending sequence is to be displayed by the system, and all these advice will be stored in this database file. So this is the procedure of identification of base plane. I am not going in detail. And then categorization of band, how to categorize the band. That bands can be categorized on the basis of band axis position with reference to the feed direction, whether parallel to feed direction, perpendicular to feed direction, or inclined to feed direction. So according to these three categories, bands are categorized. Then bands are grouped together. You can see these bands whose band axis is coplanar and having the same direction, either up or down, can be grouped in the same group. For example, here B1 and B2. Okay, these two bands should be grouped in one group because both are coplanar and both are in upward direction. So these are grouped in one group. So similarly, there are some other rules, and then groups are prioritized, and we have to give weightage factor for each rule. That if this is the most important rule, that the distance in terms of number of plane in between a band and base plane have the maximum impact on band sequencing. Band having maximum number of planes away from the base plane should be addressed early. So 0.6 weightage is given to this rule. So there are so many rules, and different weightages are given to the different rules. Then band force is to be calculated. You can see that it will take input from database files, and it will calculate band force, and then this band force will be displayed for the user and will be stored in one database file. This is the execution of the complete system, that is process planning for bending parts. You can see that all these modules are executed one by one, and it will take input from database file, that is part.dat and fe.dat. And then these modules will display some advice like display spring bang angle. Then this will be stored in one database file. Display band allowance, it will be stored in another database file, and this band allowance data file will be recalled for execution of this module blank size. So you can see that all these modules execute one by one, and it will display some advice for the user, and then output is stored in some database files, and these database files are used for execution of further modules. For this component, you can see that calculation for band 1, 1.75 for band 2. So spring back angle is calculated for all these type of bands. Then band allowance is calculated. You can see same band allowance is given to all these bands. And then you can see 2D drawing of this blank is generated. This is the blank 2D drawing of the blank. So this is the dimension of this blank, and then this is the primary plane or base plane, major plane of this component. So select the feed direction as well per the selecting edge of band. User has to select a particular feed direction. Which direction this component is on the feed inside the press machine in the die between the punch and die. That is to be selected by the user just on the screen. So accordingly, you can see that band level is decided, then rules are applied. These are the factors. Even flexibility is given to the user to change the weightage of these factors. Then grouping of band is done, group 1 and group 2, and some marking system is given, that is group 170. So these are the important bands, and then 29.6 to the group 2. Then you can see that first these bands will be generated, and then these bands will be generated. Okay, then band force is calculated. For this band 1, U die will be required, band 2, U die will be required, band 3, wiping die, band 3, 4, 5, wiping die will be required. What will be the band width, what will be the band force? So all these parameters are calculated by this system automatically. So if you okay, so I will show you the video at the end. Then next is selection of bending die components. All these size of all these components are selected automatically by the system. You can see that this is the execution of this system, that is bending die component selection. So input is taken from this part.dat file, and then BD block is executed for selection of size of die block, and it will require one input from this database file fe.dat, and then output will be stored in another data file. For execution of this next module, output from this data file dbblock.dat will be taken as an input to this module STP, that is selection of stripper and stripper pressure plate, then punch, and then another punch plate and back plate, and then die set and fastener. So the size of all these components are selected one by one, and then their outputs are stored in different data files. So you can see from this execution that no input is required from the user at this stage. Then for this component, you can see that this is the output of module DB block for die block. You can see that for stage 1, so this is the two-stage bending die, or you can see this is the progressive bending die. Not only in one stage, but two-stage bending is completed. So for stage 1, this is the please select length of die block this, width of die block this, and thickness of die block this. Then stage 2, size of die block is displayed for the user. And die block material, actually there is a database file inside this system which has different materials for die block, because you know that there are many materials are used in industries, different materials at different costing. So and it also depends on the production quantity required. Accordingly, the user has been given the choice to select a proper die block material from this drop down menu, and accordingly this advice for this dimensions of size of this die block will change. Then pressure plate, you can see these are the advices generated by the system. Stage 2, then punch for stage 1, punch for stage 2, then punch plate for stage 2. So these are the different advices generated by the system one by one, and all these outputs are stored in some database files. And this is for fasteners for stage 1 and for stage 2. Then the last subsystem is automatic modeling of bending die. Here, Different modules are developed for automatic modeling, 2D modeling as well as 3D modeling of different components as well as um, bottom die assembly and top die assembly. So this is the execution of this complete system. You can see that all these modules are taking input from the earlier generated database file. No input is required from the user. For example, this module DB mode. This module takes the input from the data file dbblock.dat, which is generated during the execution of module which is developed for determining the size of die block for stage 1 and for stage 2. And then this module die block will execute and it will display advice for and it will generate the 2D and 3D views of die block, and these views are stored in some this drawing file, that is global die block modeling. And then next module is this stripper plate modeling, then punch plate modeling. So all these modules are taking input directly from some database file, and then these modules will generate 2D and 3D views of uh, die block, different components, and these drawings are stored in some drawing files, and then these drawing files are used in the modeling of, you can see that die bottom assembly modeling. Some drawings are used here and some other drawings are used in die top assembly modeling, and your final drawings will be 2D and 3D views of bottom die assembly and top die assembly. So this system is completely automatic. No input is required from the user. All inputs are taken from the database files which are generated during the execution of previous modules. So you can see this is the output of module DB mode 3D drawing of die block. This is the 2D drawing of die block stage 1, the 3D drawing of die block stage 2, and this is the 2D drawing of die block stage 2, then stripper plate 3D drawing stage 1. This is the 2D drawing of stripper plate stage 1, then 3D drawing of pressure plate with all dimensions, and then 2D drawing of pressure plate, then 3D drawing of punch stage 1, 2D drawing, then 3D drawing of punch stage 2. So all these drawings are generated automatically by the system within few minutes. So you can see this is the 3D drawing of die holder plate stage 1, and then 2D drawing, 3D drawing for stage 2, 2D drawing, 3D drawing of die holder plate stage 2, and 2D drawing of die holder plate stage 2. This is the die top assembly modeling, 3D drawing of top die assembly stage 1, and this is the 2D drawing of top die assembly modeling. And this is the bottom assembly modeling, 3D drawing of bottom die assembly. And this is the 2D drawing of bottom die assembly. Okay, so if you want to see video, then I can show you. Harshit. So do you want to see video of this? How to generate drawings?
Sir, please try. In case if it plays, then we can show.
Okay, just a minute.
Or else maybe you can show at the end of the presentation.
No, this is the end of presentation. After this, I will conclude.
Okay, so then that is not a problem, sir.
So here you can see that all these drawings, 3D drawing as well as 2D drawing, these are generated one by one. And when you click on this modeling or assembly die, then you can see 2D modeling as well as 3D modeling of bottom die assembly for stage 1 as well as stage 2. So this is 3D bottom die assembly. So all the components which are required for bottom die assembly or top die assembly, these are recorded one by one. So this is all about this design of bending die. So here I have taken only one case study of this bending die. We have already developed the system for blanking, progressive, deep drawing and compound die also. So here my purpose is not to demonstrate that how this design of bending die is performed, but the main purpose is that how we can use this AI technique in sheet metal forming, or you can say in manufacturing, for solving problems which are highly domain specific, which require highly experienced manpower. So this EBS, this KBS or expert system is one of the powerful and most widely used technique of artificial intelligence. As I have shown you that 30%, 37% systems, intelligence systems are developed by using this knowledge-based system approach or expert system approach of AI. It is capable to solve problems which are complex, time-consuming, and highly experience-intensive, such as press tool or die design. So this technique, KBS or expert system, can be used to solve problems which are complex, time consuming and highly experience based activities. So we have already applied research efforts for developing integrated KBS or expert system for intelligent automatic design of blanking die, progressive die, deep drawing die, compound die, and bending die. So this system is capable to execute the tedious task of die design in less than an hour. So within 1 hour, you can do the complete task of design of a press tool. While traditionally it requires more than 1 week, or you can say in case of complex progressive die, it requires 1 month, and highly experienced people are required. And the system is integrated in nature and uses parametric design approach. Parametric design approach means if there is any change in the input, that is CAD drawing of sheet metal part, obviously the complete design will change automatically. While in case of traditional die design process, if some design feature of sheet metal part, then die designer has to design a new type of die again. Even a fresh die designer can perform the tedious task of die design easily using the proposed system. Therefore, it eliminates the dependency on experienced designers. Fresh die designer who knows only some CAD software or who is having some knowledge of this programming language, that is Lisp or AutoLisp, then he can also perform this complete task of die design. No requirement of experienced die designer to operate the system. It can handle all types of sheet metal parts manufactured on different dies. Any type of part can be handled. So, what are the suggestions for further research in this area? That you can develop an optimization model for optimization of process parameters of bending process. So, in this system, process parameters have not been optimized. So, some optimization optimized system can also be linked with this system, so that will generate the optimal value of process parameters for bending process. An integrated SIM environment, computer integrated manufacturing environment, can be created through the development of post-processor program which utilize the output of proposed KBS for die manufacturing. Means whatever is the output of the system, that is in terms of drawing 2D and 3D drawing of die components and die assembly. There should be some system which can generate code for automatic code for CNC machining of for manufacturing of these dies automatically. So that is required. So that SIM environment, integrated SIM environment, can be developed by through the development of some post-process program which can utilize the output of this system. The KBS approach can also be used for automation of design of combination die and transfer die. Combination die we have tried partially but not completely. Such type of system can also be developed, this combination die and transfer die, as well as design of deep drawing die for non-axis symmetric parts. That can also be taken as a challenge for further research. So if you want to study further, then our group has published one book, that is AI application sheet metal forming, in which all these KBS or expert systems have been discussed in detail. This is the list of some papers published in various SCI journals. You can go through it. All these are available online. So more than 30 papers have been published in this area by my research team. Thank you very much.